Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live stream. Has been a while. Hope you're all doing well. My name is Daytrade Jeffrey, and I am your host for today. Okay, so first of all, I decided to reopen my community to the public. The link is in the description. If you want to join, you will be able to stay up to date to all my charts, trades, and whatever I'm doing. We're a fun bunch, so make sure to join. There's only 10 spots reserved. If you want to be in, make sure to be quick. First, today we will be looking at Bitcoin. If you follow me on Twitter, you will be very familiar with this chart. I made this chart yesterday, expanded on it today, and it seems to be playing out very well. First of all, we had a descending wedge forming on Bitcoin, and I wasn't exactly too sure that this would break out, considering the fact that usually before a decent pump, we see a dip. And the dip that I expected, please excuse me, would have taken us down to about 13K. Didn't happen. We had a clear breakout here. So this will be the breakout. Then we had a retest. And after that, we formed another descending wedge, which will very, very likely take us up to 14,600 USD. So what does this look like in the bigger picture? First of all, we're going to go to the hourly charts. Let me remove all the mess here. And on the hourly charts, you can see that if we draw our Fibonacci, and this is just to show you how exactly I got my target, that our Fibonacci extension is currently situated at 14,600, 1.618 extension. And this is going to be our target. And I'm very, very confident that we are going to reach that target. And there's no sign or indication of slowing down. And this even gets further confirmed if you look at the on-balance volume. Now, on-balance volume simply tells you how much of a certain asset is being taken from the market or added to the market. And we can see that there's a whole load of buying pressure. If we compare the current buying pressure to previous levels, we haven't seen this since 2018. So let me just draw a horizontal ray, or I should actually be saying horizontal line to where we're at right now. And this is record high. This is record high of Bitcoins being taken off the market or being bought up. And the only time we've seen like a bigger volume of tokens being taken off the market and being bought up is back in 2017, December 2017, when the whole market went bonkers, got into this big, long bear market that nobody enjoyed. And I don't see that happening now. If we look at the bigger picture, I think there's a very, very long way for us to go before we can even consider selling our Bitcoins. And first of all, I want to go to the daily chart and remove the unbalanced volume. This is just sitting in the way. And also, please let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, tell me in chat. I think everything should be fine, but last time we had some problems. Just want to make sure everything's okay. Now, this pattern right here is very, very and eerily similar to what we've seen in the past. Like, let me just grab some markers here. Obviously, 2014 was a crazy time. We had a peak. I remember it very well. It was right around when Mt. Gox was taken off the air. And if you look at the pattern that is forming right now, you can see step one, a long period of decline. Step two, total breakdown. Step three, a big dump, not as deep as the previous breakdown. And then you can see a big, big rally. Now, the same thing is happening today. And let me show how. First, you had a long decline. Oh, please excuse me, messing up here. Long decline of Bitcoin just before it broke down, just like it did down here. Then obviously you had your second dip. I would consider this the second dip. And right now I have good news. We are sitting in the end rally of the accumulation period. And this is where everybody gets happy. This is called the hope phase. If you're in any way familiar with the bubble chart. So I expect to see pretty much a similar retrace as we had in the last time, from the bottom to the 0.382 Fibonacci level. Let's see if that's still valid or if we already broke through. Yeah, we've actually managed to break through already. So my next target, obviously, I told you already. Let me fix this. Oh, of course, logarithmic chart. You have to excuse me there. We're reaching it as we speak, 14,600. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we managed to reach 14,600 today. Now, coincidentally, this is also where our biggest resistance is currently situated. If we take a parallel channel, you can see that we're just about breaking through the resistance of the previous top here, which was situated at 13,600. And here's the question. Obviously, resistance is not a line. Like, resistance can be like a bigger area. And my question is Bitcoin going to distribute right here at this previous top, which would be a very, very broad range, don't get me wrong, right about 14,000 to 17,000 USD. This is the range where I believe Bitcoin will slowly but surely be distributing, accumulating a little bit more before we have total launch, before we can manage to break the previous high of 20 grand. Now, of course, we're all waiting for this. And in the last bull market, when this happened, it was very, very, very positive for alts. Like this area right here where Bitcoin is going to slowly grind up, that is where alt season is usually situated. Now, right after we managed to break through the previous top, and I'm lining something out here and I'll come to it. I'll tell you what I'm creating here in just a sec. There we go. This is what I call the party zone. So let's just note that party zone. This is where everybody makes money on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, on alts, everything, the whole deal. This is where the market will very likely stay bullish for a long, long while. Now, this is the hope zone. And let's just remove this trash. There we go. This is what I call the hope zone. Perhaps we can give it a slightly different color. There we go. This will also be our first target. If we manage to break the previous high, first target, Fibonacci extension 1.618 is situated at 30 grand. Now, this is not our final target, obviously. Second target will be sitting at 48,000. And that is what I call, oh, I don't know what's happening here. I'm working with a new setup, excuse me. There we go, parallel channel. This is what I call the Bitcoin zone. And possibly ETH. This is where Bitcoin will take total dominance of the market. And I'm just like recreating what happened in the previous bull market. This is where Bitcoin takes total dominance. Alts are going to tank a little bit because everybody gets euphoric. Nobody wants to miss out. And then right here, we have the end zone. Obviously, nobody will be able to predict any kind of target for this bull run. Anyone who claims to do so, yeah, I wouldn't call it a fraud, but nobody can look into the future. So this is the end zone. This is where you should just be in Bitcoin and like most likely ditch alts and be very, very wary for the end of the bull run. This is how it happened last time. This is how I remember it. If I'm in any way wrong, Let me know what you think in the comments. So I also have a lot of questions from the campus. Once again, there's a link in the description. Make sure to follow that link if you want to make sure that you follow all the charts, trades I make. We're a happy bunch in there. Now, let's remove the Picasso, as I'd like to call it. Go back to log scale. Log scale is logarithmic scale. If you don't know what it is, you can Google logarithmic scale quite easily, I believe. And we will go to the weekly chart. And currently, I'm doing this to show you my pitchfork. And there we go. Okay, so this is the famous pitchfork. I've had this pitchfork on my Twitter for about 1.5 or 2 years now. I will post an update as well about it. Hold on, let me just save this real quick. Save image, there we go. And here's the deal. Bitcoin has been following this pitchfork very, very well lately. For the past 5 years, it's been sticking to it. Before that, market data is kind of rough. There are several exchanges. I believe that there's a whole bunch of data before that, but it's not really clear as though how accurate that might be. Now, here's my prediction, my thought, so to say. During the first run, we managed to break the second resistance and all the way to the top of the pitchfork. Now, this is how I've managed to draw the pitchfork. Second bull run, we don't manage to get to the top anymore. We take one resistance below that. And my expectation for this run is that we will top out right in the middle of this pitchfork here. And why is that? Why is that? This is a logarithmic chart. So the higher you go, see, this goes from 160 to 340 to 7, 1 to 1400. But here you go, like from 1 million to 2 million, 4 million, 8 million, 60 million, 34 million, and double, 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 and so on. That means that in the end, the chart will very likely somewhat look like this as the market matures. And this is called a logarithmic climb. And if this is correct, we will see Bitcoin topping out anywhere between, I'd say, 80 grand and 100 grand during the next bull run. This is what I truly believe. This is what I stand for. This is what I think will happen. Now, what might that look like? Let us go to our bars pattern, as I'd like to call it, and just copy this. Now, I do want to shorten the time frame a little bit. Might want to recopy it. Let us take only this part. There. Now, this is what I believe is going to happen over the course of the next, I don't know, the next year, quite possibly the next 2 years, because as we go, the market cycles get longer, then they get longer and longer and longer. Now, if this is the case, I'd say 100 grand, 120 grand wouldn't be impossible, but we're gonna have to see. Right now, I have a lot of charts requests from CryptoCanvas members, and I would really like to get to it. So if nobody has questions about this, we will be going over several chart requests that I've gotten in the group. Let me check. Okay, if you do have a question, just pop it in the live chat and I will answer it in a bit. Going over to chart requests. First of all, Digibyte. Now, Digibyte is not the easiest asset to chart. And I'm going to chart it against Bitcoin. Why am I doing this? I'm going to explain it to you in a very, very simple manner. Oh, I still had an old Digibyte chart here, I see. There we go. I'm gonna remove the log chart and clear all this up. Now, if we take a look at Digibyte paired against Bitcoin, you can see that we have all this previous market data. There's tons of history there that we can go off. If we trade it against the USD, then this is pretty much all we've got. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I have no way to rationalize this chart or to make anything of it. There's just not enough data. So let us go Digibyte Bitcoin. There we go. Digibyte is one of my favorite assets. I've been trading it for, I don't know, as long as I can remember anyway, since I've been in crypto, except for the BTC periods, then it didn't exist, but that was like before I got fully involved in crypto. And charting this is not an easy task. This is a very peculiar asset, so I'd say. And as a result of that, there's not really a true clear pattern here. What I can tell you is that my thesis here, and I do want to draw a parallel channel, is as follows. Digibyte right now is dipping into this accumulation zone, as I would like to call it. And I'm going to type it out. Accumulation zone. Now, what does this mean? Accumulation zone means a zone, a specific area on the chart that people feel comfortable buying at, and where larger sums of this asset will be accumulated, or in other words, bought by several parties within the market. And this has so far, for most of the history of Digibyte, always been the case. For the first 2 years, it never managed to leave the accumulation zone, except for this little pump here. And when it did, it managed to blast into the sky. I mean, this pump right here is serious business. It's about 33,000%, and I don't think we'll see anything like that anymore. This is just ridiculous. This was in the period where everything went bonkers, lots of manipulation, etc., etc. Now, I do believe that after we get back into this zone, we will be there for maybe a week, couple weeks before leaving it and taking another shot at a bull market for Digibyte. And why is that? You can see that it managed to dump right here into the accumulation zone for a longer period of time. It managed to stay there for 46 bars, which is a year. Now, it broke out, held very well for approximately, I'd say, 3/4 of a year. And in my eyes, this is just a retest. In my eyes, we are going back into the accumulation zone for one last dip before this asset will take off again. Now, Digibyte is one of the stronger coins. It's very old. It has a good community. It has good listings. So I just don't see this dying off anytime soon. It really is going to depend on the market, though, because it is an older asset, and the market right now really screams for new DeFi coins, new casino shit. Everybody wants to make $1 million in one day. And even though that's foolish and reckless, that is how most people are wired. And that is where most of the people are going to be looking for. Now, where's my target? My target for any kind of bull run would be very simple. I'm going to take these 3 peaks, going to average them, and then we would be sitting comfortably at around 600 to 650 Satoshis. So this is what I would like to call the sell zone. I don't think Digibyte is gonna come any higher anytime soon, because you have to understand there are still a lot of people holding Digibyte all the way back from 2017. And when this asset will make a bull run, they will probably want to sell at previous peaks. And this is, of course, a hypothesis. I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Anyone who claims to do so is an idiot. But this is very much what I expect. So Digibyte, a long-term investment, yes, but it might very, very well pay off. Now, keep in mind, if we take a look at the on-balance volume, not sure if this exchange supports it. Yes, you can see that most of the volume went towards buys. There is a lot of Digibyte that did not enter the market, that is not being sold. It's sitting somewhere. I have no clue where. And that might throw throw this whole hypothesis off, considering that there might be more buying pressure than I realized, and we just crushed the sell zone. But we're gonna have to see. Now let us move on. And I do have a question for anyone watching the stream from the Crypto Campus. Now, if you make a chart request, I would like to ask you to make one chart request. And the reason for this is that, like, I'm rebuilding the community now, and it's getting more active every day. So I'm pretty sure by next week there will be tons of requests, and I will not be able to do 5 charts a person. For now, I'm gonna try, but keep that in mind. Also, one more request: if you ask for a chart, please list what you would like me to pair it against. I can see plenty of Ethereum requests. Now, do you want me to pair it against USD, Bitcoin? How do you want it? Because I'm doing this for you guys. And like right now, I'm just gonna have to guess. Now, I'm gonna start off Ethereum paired against USD on the Coinbase chart. I made this chart a while ago. It's already sitting there prepared for us, and I posted it on my Twitter. And I believe, like, it was a couple weeks ago, maybe 4 or 5 weeks. And this setup is very, very simple. Ethereum is going to go and follow Bitcoin. At least that is what I expect. And I don't think there will be any sort of dip, whatever good buying opportunity left, apart from what we have now. Now, as long as we stay in this channel that I've drawn out, and yes, this is a channel, I had some fits on Twitter, ooh, this is not a channel, yes it is. As long as we stay in this, we are gonna be in accumulation mode. And I don't expect us to stay in this for long. What I believe, what I truly believe, is for another massive, massive big bull run to happen. And what could that look like? Well, that's very simple. I like to take this part here as an example. Of course, it doesn't have anything to do with it, but I believe the chart is going to be looking something like this. Let me grab my Fibonacci retracement. There we go. Now we can decide our targets. First of all, target 1, 1.618. 1.618 is sitting currently at a level of 2 grand. So 2.1 grand, big psychological level as well, 2 grand. You know, like when it reaches 2000 USD, I believe there will be some profit taking that will be going on. And coincidentally, or maybe not coincidentally, depending on how you look at it, this is also where our first Fibonacci lines up. So 2 grand, 2.1 grand, that's pretty much where I'm aiming for the first run. Now, of course, after that, I do not believe Ethereum will be done. I think we're going to go much higher than that, as high as 3,500 or maybe even 5,000. But for that, we're going to have to see. Now, this is a logarithmic chart. In reality, these price ranges are going to be looking something like this. There we go. So this is pretty much what I am currently looking at. Now, obviously the other targets are much, much higher. all the way up to here. This is what the normal chart will sort of look like. And this is normal. If you take a look at Amazon, we've got pretty much the exact same story, amplified by 1,000-fold. You had the dot-com bubble. Obviously, it had a very big pump there, long period of accumulation, and then the real deal began. And as you can see, there is no end. Probably this will never end. And I believe the same thing will be happening to crypto. We've had our bubble in 2017, market matured, and now we're going to see which projects last and which die off. Make sure to be in the ones that last. Let me tell you that. And I do believe Ethereum will be one of those. Now, one more thing. I'm very sorry for bombarding you with requests, but if you request a coin to be charted, make sure it's on TradingView. I'm using TradingView right now. I'm still working on my setup. Tried to buy a camera yesterday, but everybody seems to be working from home, so all these bloody things were sold out. Couldn't get them. And once I have my camera set up, everything else, I will look into some different charting software that has a broader range of assets. But for now, TeamViewer will have to do. Next in line, I'm not sure if this is even. It is. There we go. EGLD. Not sure. I'm sorry, dude. Not sure what to make of this. This doesn't look very shiny at this very particular moment. Maybe on the daily it won't look as bad. Reason being, now I'm just pulling this out of my ass right now because I don't know what EGLD is. I don't know the fundamentals. So we're going to look purely at the technical perspective. In fact, we had a ginormous descending wedge, as I like to call it. And this should be a bullish signal. But there are plenty of times when there's a breakout and you see an immediate dump after it, that this whole thing gets invalidated. And I'm inclined to believe this, considering that we've almost managed to reach the end of it. And when you reach the end of a descending wedge, it becomes less and less reliable. Like, right, descending wedges should maybe just look something like this. They shouldn't be touching at all. They should be pretty broad. And by then it should break out. Now, this is a very different story. I'm not sure if this is even valid. That being said, we are in the accumulation waters. This whole area is accumulation zone. And the tip of this descending wedge reaches right into the accumulation zone. So this might be a good spot to buy some. I wouldn't bet too big, but it might be a decent spot to get back involved if you are not. And if you are involved, certainly wouldn't sell here, especially if you bought the top. Wouldn't be much left anyway, and just wait it out, and hopefully it will be all right. I do believe that it might. And so we go to Litecoin. Exciting stuff for Litecoin, guys. Logarithmic chart. Litecoin is going to blast the sky. It's gonna blast the stars out of the sky. I swear. I'm very, very heavy on Litecoin right now. I believe that this is the epitome of, and I have to say this right. 1,000 days, 1,051 days of accumulation. And just like Ethereum, Bitcoin, like Litecoin is one of the stronger assets in the market. And now that we are coming to a close of this symmetrical triangle, I can see a very familiar pattern forming. And no, this is not an inverted head and shoulders. I mean, you could look at it that way, but that's not how it works. Inverted head and shoulders do not form within wedges. But and give me a second here. Yeah, but if we take our count, Elliott triangle wave, A, B, C, D, E. Very simple rule. You don't have to know what this means. If the E ends on the bottom, it's going up. If it ends on top, it's going down. I'm not going to explain this. If you want to like know what I just did, try to visit Wikipedia, Elliott wave theory, and a specific symmetric triangle wave. After the E, it is a very common sight in crypto to see some sort of low, a lower low, and a higher low. Now, this is what we're seeing right here. And this is just what I'm telling from experience. Like there's no book about this, no theory. This is just my personal experience that I've accumulated over the years. And I believe we are going to go blast off within the next week, 1 week, or maybe 2 weeks. And our first target is going to be 143 USD. Now, why is that? It is, I should actually correct myself there. 117 USD. That's where I'm aiming at. Now, obviously, this is where we've managed to bottom out during the 2018 bear market. Obviously, we broke through, but once we retested this area right there, it got utterly rejected and went into another bear market for a very, very long period of time. Now, this is going to have to be the first pivot point that we're going to have to overtake. And it will not be easy, depending on the strength of the bull market for alts. I do believe we can do it. But if you take a position right now on breakout and you sell it at first target, that's an 80% profit without margin. So if you use margin, you could crank this number up a whole lot. And on top of that, this is a very low risk, a very, very low risk trade. If you take the trade on breakout, just put your stops below the resistance that was broken, below the top line of the triangle. Now, if it stops out, your losses are minimal. If you can let it run, you can let it run, and you can take some very, very decent profit there and have a good party and lots of money to be made. So let me just go over some other requests that I have. Can I look at KMD chart? Yes, I can look at KMD. Mishuk, I'm not familiar with Energy Web, but I will look into it. Now, this is not a fundamentals live stream. I will do those on a different live stream. I just want to keep my charting, my technical analysis, and my fundamental analysis separate as to not bore you guys with stories while doing charts. Can I look at KMD? Yes, I can. And I'd like to check out Bittrex for some more data. Ooh, okay. I'm sorry, sir. You're going to have to sell your house. And maybe also your wife and children, because this doesn't look good. This doesn't look good at all. I had high hopes for KMD, to be honest. But I have to say, ever since these lows, and I'm just going to make it a channel again. There, I'm just going to make it. There we go. Okay, ever since these lows were taken out, I have lost my entire confidence in KMD. Reason being, this is unexplored area. Like there is no data here that I can chart. There's nothing there that we can go off. So it is extremely risky to get into KMD right now. Now, of course, I will change my mind if we manage to retake this pivot point. This pivot point right here, if we manage to do this, then I will be bullish again. And I would say if we manage to get back above this support turned resistance, I would be very bullish, because that would make this the final plunge before the jump. Is it gonna happen? I don't know. I'm gonna be patient, and we will see. Now, another request: if you want me to do a chart, feel free, shout it in the comments, and I will try. Let's take a look at Quantum. Do we have something with a bit more data? I don't think so. Okay, QNT for me is very simple. Once again, no FA. Oh, excuse me there. Might actually want to change this around. There's no patterns on QNT, at least not on the longer term chart, but that's all right. You don't always need patterns. I'm a pattern trader myself. It's what I use mostly, but you don't always need them. There's one very clear pattern on this. All the lows are higher, so we have higher lows, and we're starting to have higher highs. Seems to me that it's trending upwards. Now, if it continues to do so, if it continues to trend upward, so that means we should not be taking out any lower lows, then eventually it's going to break through its previous peak. It's going to break through this resistance that's been set ever since March 2019, and it's going to go into explore mode. Now, obviously, we can use our Fibonacci for this, and if it does go into explore mode, your targets would be 0.002 Bitcoins, 0.003, 33, I should say, and 0.0045. I do believe there's a good chance that this is going to happen. Now, obviously, nothing is certain. I don't know, but it just might. So keep in mind, if you want to trade this, higher lows, higher highs. As long as it keeps doing that, it's fine. Now, let's say it takes out this low and it will not create a higher high again. That would completely invalidate the trade. And yeah, you probably want to get out of it. Now, this is going to be the final request, because I could do this all day. I know myself, but unfortunately, there is other things to do. Now, once again, make sure to click the link in the description if you're not in the campus community yet. Lots of fun there, pictures of cats. Do we have? Yes. Okay, now, I'm so sorry to say this. Well, actually, I'm not. But this might look like a giant head and shoulders. And that doesn't have to be a bad thing in a crypto bull market. It doesn't at all. The question is, are you in this asset right now? Are you in RSR? Or do you want to buy? Are you looking to buy? Like, I have no information on this. What I can tell you is that it's right down in accumulation zone, or at least it's getting there. Oh, please excuse me. There. So you might do very well to set buys at this level. And at this level currently means between 6,000 Satoshis. And yeah, I would say 5,500. That would be the level I would be setting my buys at, and I would feel very confident at it. Now, obviously, your stops are also going to be easily decided, because this should be a very, very tight trade. Your stops are just going to be these levels right here. So as long as it's above 4,500, you should be fine, should be safe. If it reaches back into this accumulation zone, then I believe it's going to be a whole bunch of time before and if it ever going to break out again. So yeah, if you're looking to get into this now, it's a good time. If you bought the top, I would be a little bit uncertain if it's going to go back there, but we're going to have to see. So yeah, obviously I will do fundamental analysis streams as well. I'm going to create a channel for this actually in the Crypto Campus Discord. So make sure to post your requests there. I will do so within the hour and I will be sure to take a look at it. For now, I'd say this is pretty much it. There's not much I can do right now. I am working on getting a camera that is not sold out, having a very hard time finding one. But we should be able to get this fixed this week. So yeah, I'm gonna thank you for watching. I really missed you guys. I really missed doing the live streams, talking to you, having fun together, and I hope to see you around in the community. If not, there will be another live stream tomorrow evening. So for now, have a great evening and enjoy your trading.